Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Ryan. I hope everyone's having a good weekend. I just thought I'd share a bit of an update on the similarities between a couple of altcoins. I know a lot of people are interested in QNT, and you can see what QNT did if we take the swing high to the swing low here. We got a nice retrace up to around the 3.82 and the 0.5, right in between there. And that really was coming back to this last area of support that we broke down from before we broke down for QNT. And as you can see, we came back up and the candle body's pretty much aligned with the 382. And in terms of QNT, now people who rushed in up here are obviously in fear again as we start moving back down. And one thing that I'm looking for on QNT would be sort of this area down here, because that was the breakout level that we broke out from right there. Last bullish candle, so wouldn't surprise me to see a bit of a retrace back down to this area for QNT, as we already had the retrace back to the upside. You can really see that upside retracement pinpoint nailed the big bearish wicks up here, the liquidity that the market was looking to seek. But the main thing that I wanted to do was compare QNT to HBAR, because there is actually a lot of similarities, especially looking at this sort of bottom here with the wick and the wick. So I'm going to look at HBAR now and we'll have a little comparison between these two. So just jumping over to HBAR now, I'm going to do exactly the same thing as what we had marked out for QNT. I'm just going to take the swing high to the current swing low. And if you remember, for QNT we had the big wick to the downside like that, and then we got the fill of the wick, and that was the moment as to which we started to retrace to the 382 and the 50% retracement mark. And like with the QNT chart, you can see that aligns with these bearish wicks here, the liquidity in the chart that hasn't come back up to retest, or we haven't got a retest of this bearish candle here that I would really like to get a retest of, like we've come down here with the bullish candles that we've got a retest of down here, which does also mean I am open to HBAR dropping a little bit further. But if anyone's watched my previous video on HBAR, you'll know I've been dollar cost averaging anything under 6 cents really, starting to fill this wick, ready to play the retracement back to the upside. And that would be a substantial move for HBAR, like it was with QNT, and then I think we could expect another retrace back to the downside, back to these bearish candles here. So that is really what I'm looking for in HBAR in comparison to QNT. So I think a nice percentage profit taking up here if we get the move up would be a good start, because at least if you take 50 or 60%, get your initial investment out, you've then, if we rock it up, I'm not saying this is going to happen, if that happens, you've got a substantial amount left in the market. But if you're taking 50, 60, 70% out, ready to play the retrace back to the downside like QNT, you've then opening up the possibilities to multiply the amount of HBAR that you've got for free, risk-free, massively. So again, if we do zoom out for HBAR here, I've taken us to the monthly time frame. Just thinking logically, when we've had this massive move to the upside here, where there was loads of hype and loads of excitement, all we've done is come back down to this big bullish candle here and retest the breakout level, and we're seeing a really nice reaction here with these two wicks. Wouldn't surprise me to get a third wick next month and come even lower and fill that again, but this would not be a problem because our DCA strategy is perfect at these levels, because any retracement to the upside really starts to bring us into good profit. And you can see on this monthly time frame, like this big bullish candle here that had to come in and be filled, the most logical level that lines up with the retracements that we looked at earlier would be the 20 to 23 cents region. So that is the first area that I'm going to be looking at to play HBAR in a move like this, where people start to get excited again. No doubt about it, people will start entering the market again up here, and at that point we begin to take profit, us as rational, unemotional investors into the market, then begin to look for the downside move, like with QNT. And again, even the higher time frames give some good regions to the upside for potential moves in the future. But we don't want to get greedy. We don't want to be accepting that we need this to go to new all-time highs to be able to benefit, because we don't. All we do is need a simple retracement. And even if we take the candle bodies here, candle body to candle body. Look at that, lining up directly at the 50% retracement, and really that is about a 400% move, 300% move from here. So this is playing the simple retracements in the market. You don't need all-time highs, you don't need to be a moon boy to benefit from this market, and that is the simple message here today. So if we do get a move like we did with QNT, comparing the similarities, this is going to be a zone that we're looking out for HBAR. Really trying to keep it simple here, because we don't want to be a moon boy, we don't want to be so bearish that we can't benefit from any upside or retracements that we do get in the market. And I think now is a good time, because we've had the fill of the wick that we talked about in the last video. I said it might not happen. I wasn't personally too fussed on this wick getting filled, but you know, we've taken the lows. That's a great sign. Back into this monthly demand area. You really can't ask for much more, and on a higher time frame, that could simply be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the upside. This is your retracement back to the downside, and we've got a much bigger move to the upside. However, with that retracement that we talked about earlier, back to the upside, fill this bearish candle, get the move to the upside. This is a possibility to come down for a big 1, 2, and then we shoot off into the midst of 2023 or even 2024. However, we could even just get the retrace to the upside, come down for even one more low to fill this bullish candle here. That's a possibility, but in all scenarios here where we are taking percentages out on the way up, we can then benefit massively from these moves to the downside. So as everyone is scared down here and doesn't want to invest, everyone, no doubt about it, will want to invest up here. So trying to stay on the right side of the trade once again, using the psychology of the big bearish candles and the big bullish candles, and that really is my outlook on HBAR. And just a little comparison there with QNT. Some of the other altcoins are looking exactly the same as well, so if you do want to take your own time, go have a look at them. But everything is really lining up for a retrace in the market, with Bitcoin, with the altcoins, and overall with market sentiment being in extreme fear for this long. Let's get a bit of greed coming back into the market. I think that would do the trick. So again, it's not financial advice, just simple analysis here, nothing too complicated, keeping it rational, keeping it unemotional, and just trying to stay ahead of what's going to be coming next. But again, thank you for watching, guys. If you do like the video, give it a like, subscribe, drop a comment, let me know what you think, because the more opinions that we can get, the better. See you next time.